Right, and as you saw just a minute ago, Jacksonville State quite literally hauled in this week's Pop-Tarts Crazy Good Play of the Week award by way of a Hail Mary to force overtime Saturday against Louisiana Tech. You also saw on the screen we sent some Pop-Tarts to Jacksonville, Alabama to help the team celebrate. Now we're really pleased to be joined by Coach Rich Rodriguez to discuss the play and his team, and as it prepares, not just looking back on this play, but as you prepare for FIU this weekend as well. Coach, thanks so much for joining us, and congrats on the
Yeah,
win this past weekend to start.
yeah. Thanks for having me. It was certainly improbable. We had to have a little luck involved, but very exciting, and we appreciate the attention for sure.
Coach, first and foremost, word on the street is you're a Pop Tarts fan. I wanted to see if I could confirm or deny that rumor.
100%. We get Pop Tarts for our kids every day. I eat Pop Tarts. I'm a huge Pop Tart fan. I have Pop Tarts just about every day myself. So, yes, that's extra special for us to have Pop Tarts associated with Jack State football.
And the question we always get: are you toasted or untoasted?
Toasted majority of the time. If I'm in a hurry, it could be untoasted, but if I have time, I'm toasting them.
All right. Well, now that we got the important stuff out of the way, a thrilling win for the team Saturday against Louisiana Tech. For those who might not be familiar with the Gamecocks game, Jack State ranks ninth nationally in scoring at 39.2 points a game. Also, the number 4 ranked rushing attack, which might not necessarily always add up to Hail Mary as the storyline you're expecting. But can you tell us a little bit more about your team, especially about Tyler Huff and Cam Vaughn, the players who connected for that Hail Mary touchdown?
Everything's kind of new and fresh for us. This is just our second year as an FBS school in Conference USA. And so we were kind of a little bit ahead of schedule, I guess, last year going to a bowl game. And this game was important for us because it got us to 6 and to be bowl eligible. But we practice that play once a week, like I'm sure every program does, and on every Thursday. But you never know. You can go years without using it, right? And this is the second time for me. I got one 10 years ago when I was at Arizona against Cal, and it was successful. We were lucky then. And this time, what was neat about it that we knew we tried to get in position to do that first, which get the ball near midfield, and then the throw from Tyler was perfect. We always want him to be 5 yards deep in the end zone, 5 yards from the sidelines, and have the ball kind of drop into that area. And he threw a perfect throw. And then Cam, we were first worried that because we had just run 2 routes a long ways, can our wideouts get down there fast enough because they're tired? Well, he got in a perfect position right behind him, and they misjudged the ball. He judged it right, and I didn't even see him catch it. I just saw the reaction of our guys, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's pretty neat. And then I tried to get him off the field because we had to make the extra point to win it, and we wound up missing it. But the overtime, I felt I didn't get all mad like you would think coaches after we missed it, because I thought, man, we're fortunate to be in overtime. Let's try to take it from there.
That was going to be my next question. You miss PAT, doesn't go as planned, something like that. It happens, right? And every team can handle that kind of adversity differently. How do you keep your guys feeling good in that moment as opposed to kind of spiraling after a bad moment following a huge
Yeah,
play?
we've been in some overtime games and won most of them, but I tell our guys, overtime's good for us because we always talk about our conditioning and what have you. And I said the longer the game goes, whether it's overtime or not, that plays into our favor. And so, having the opportunity to get in overtime with that play happening was us being fortunate. And then you always want to go on defense first, typically. Well, we weren't, but I'm like, okay, maybe if we score a touchdown, it'll put a little bit of pressure on them. And then it's kind of unique that our offense made the play to go to overtime, and the defense made the play to win it in overtime. So it worked out.
Now, you had mentioned that you had a previous Hail Mary that went your way, and this now makes 2. But is there really much you can do as a coach to better prepare your team to execute a Hail Mary than putting them in the right
Yeah,
spot? Or is
yeah,
it in
you
the hands
got
of the football gods?
Yeah, you work. There's always some luck involved. You got to work on how you're going to protect it, how you're going to structure your guys that are running down the field, and obviously where you want the ball to be thrown. And then on the flip side, on defense, we also work on it every week. I mean, how many guys are you going to rush? Are you going to put a couple tall guys back there that can jump higher? And do you bat it down? There's always the argument: do you try to bat it down, or do you try to grab the ball and catch it? And then you got to be ready for, guys getting pushed and shoved on both sides, because they're not going to call pass interference on offense or defense down there. So it's usually about getting in position and not letting a guy push you out of your position on that as well. So there's some work to do on it, but there's always going to, anytime you do, it's called a Hail Mary for a reason, right? There's going to be some luck involved as well.
Now, your team's playing pretty good football. You're 5-0 in Conference USA. You've won 6 straight games, get to 6-3 overall. You mentioned bowl eligibility this weekend. You guys have FIU, and you've still got to play Western Kentucky, Sam Houston. So a lot of work to be done between now and a potential Conference USA championship game. What's on your mind as you look ahead to FIU and the rest of your schedule?
Yeah, I mean, we started off poorly with the season, but they were all non-conference games. And so, as I told the team after the 0-3 start, I said, "Listen, all the conferences in front of us, and so we could kind of reboot ourselves and try to make a run at it." And as I tell the team every week, the more you win, the more is at stake. And so now that we've won a few in a row, we're still in contention for a conference championship. So every game we play now is a game for the conference championship. And so we have one at home. We have two more after that, and our guys know that we put ourselves in a position to have a lot to play for at the end of the year. And at the end of the day, every team will tell you, every program will say, "Listen, we want a lot to play for at the end of the year, whether it's conference wise, bowl games wise, or whatever." And at least we're in that position now.
Now, you mentioned the program getting to a bowl game last year, and then 6 wins as blocks in bowl eligibility. This year, Conference USA's got a lot of great bowl destinations, including some tropical ones. You could end up in the Bahamas or Hawaii, or even down in Orlando here with our friends at the Cure Bowl. What do those end of
Yeah,
season
when we
trips
go get into I went to Pop-Tarts Bowl would be pretty nice, wouldn't it?
We're
Yeah,
we're
so
working on that.
yeah,
But what do those trips mean at the end of the season, regardless of where you go, to kind of be able to bond with your team like that?
yeah, because I obviously coached a long time, and I got a chance to play in 4 bowl games as a player at West Virginia. I think the bowl games are great. Some people are, say they're diminished because of the playoff, and I think maybe they have a little bit less attention because of the playoffs. But we went last year. I mean, there was everybody in our program, every coach, staff member, every player had a great experience, and then it helps the experience to win. But more than that, it gives an opportunity for your program, for your school, and for those players to have a type of experience, but maybe they wouldn't have normally. And I think that's why the bowl system is so great. Why we I'm so excited for our guys, because they're going to get to do something, and have a type of experience that they could talk about for years.
Coach, we certainly appreciate you making the time this afternoon to chat with us. I know you got a busy schedule as you look ahead to FIU this weekend, but wanted to make sure we congratulated you appropriately with as many Pop Tarts as we could possibly get to the Jacksonville State campus. So well done, and thank you again.
Appreciate it. Love the Pop Tarts. Keep sending them. Thank you.
All right, take care, Coach. Have a great one.